Hello, my name is Brandon. You can call me Saberstorm. That's a name I've been using since usernames were invented on the internet. This is my first Global Game Jam 2018 review. It's something I started last year, didn't do so well last year. Looking to do better this year by including voiceover gameplay. Previously all I did was gameplay clips. I'm doing this because I've done game design for 5, 6, I think going on 7 years now, mostly freelance and contract work. Most of it's under NDA or in private sectors, so I enjoy game jams for that reason, and I've wished I could get more feedback a lot of times. So I decided I wanted to give back to the community and industry that I like by giving feedback of my own to other people, hoping to inspire them to continue with their work, or hopefully inspire others to take up the work. The first post I made on my Patreon had some rules, so I'm just going to go over them really quick since this is my first time doing a voiceover review. I preview all the games beforehand, so there's not going to be any first-time footage. I try to do this just to respect the people who are working on it, and not everyone finishes a game during a game jam, so it's just a good way to make sure I'm not putting out somebody's half-finished work and then it becomes a mess, so to speak. Additionally, not all games made in game jams are for all viewers, even though there are rules and standards set by different areas. Sometimes things fall through the cracks. For example, last year I came across a couple of games where my first thought was these would be okay to do, but after I vetted them, they were pretty disturbing and definitely not something I would want to put out there for other people to see. That's just my opinion on the matter, and I try to stay by that. I also do not do any games that I helped make. That's a conflict of interest, a bias. If I do stuff of my own on here, I'm going to be not doing it as a review, but more of kind of a progress or a dev diary. I judge things according to 4 different categories: gameplay, graphics, sound, and controls, on a scale of 1 to 5, with an overall score between 1 and 10. That's based on the category scores, the team size, the use of the Global Game Jam theme, and the use of modifiers. Some of these categories may sound similar, but there are differences, or at least I work on differences. For example, gameplay is how the game works, and controls are how the controls work alongside the game. I also try and judge things by how they all fit together and how they all operate on an individual level. So I'm not going to be judging a game poorly simply because it has simple graphics. If the overall design calls for simple graphics, they're going to get points for doing simple graphics. Whereas if, say, the music is some great orchestra sweeping thing and their graphics are a bunch of boxes, well, unless there's really a reason for orchestral music with a bunch of boxes, it's probably going to lose them points. They probably should have focused on something simpler on the music side, given the time constraints, so that they could have done something better on the graphical side. So with that all taken care of, we're going to start up the first review of the year, and hopefully I'll do more this year than I did last year. And this one is called Blobbert. It's made in Unity by Connor Parash, Skylar Hector, and Sebastian Sanchez. Sorry if I butchered any of your names. I'm going to give my review while playing here, just to hopefully give you guys a good idea of how it all works. My first impression of this game was this is going to be silly, and it is. It uses the theme of transmission in a pretty predictable, yet unpredictable manner. I mean, when I saw the description, I expected something like the Handshake game from grade school. that they use to teach about the spread of disease. Instead, this is actually a boiled down stealth puzzle, and it surprised me. The gameplay is solid, as you can see what I'm doing here. Controls are very simple, very predictable, and I really like how they put the tutorial right here on the beginning page. It's just a good choice for a game jam. It speeds things along, and it's also interactive. On the control side, they actually lose points. I'm here trying to use the controls they put here. Infect me with space/A, and it's actually not working. In fact, if I use the I'm using an Xbox controller, and I have to press X to go in. So you lose points for controls. I think it's probably because they tried to do 2 sets of controls, because as you'll see over here, space works. I also don't see much of a reason why they have this look around option. And there's not a lot of predictability when you uninfect one of these janitors that they have running around. So lose points on controls. Sound, it's repetitive, but it doesn't get to be annoying, or at least not for me. They didn't do anything really surprising or interesting with the sound, but it's not something I found to be a big issue. I mean, it is what it is. I forgot about that part. See if I can get... I do like how you have to infect these guys just to survive. It's got a little timer mechanic along the bottom. That's a good touch. When it comes to the graphics, these are obviously very simple graphics, but it's kind of something I talked about earlier. Simple graphics and they work. And I just lost there. Some of the text could be a bit more readable, but I played around with some of my resolution settings, and I found that depending on your resolution setting that you play in, that actually affects the readability of the text in particular. So it's not exactly a hit. It's kind of a hit and miss. It's something you're going to have to play around with if you want to do it. Okay, I'm just about to the end here, as you'll probably see. My overall score on this, or rather I should give you the smaller scores first. So gameplay scored a 5 out of 5 for me, for how solid it is. Graphics, 4 out of 5, not the best, but they did a good job. Sound, again, 4 out of 5, not the best, but a very good, decent job, something I would expect out of a game jam game. And controls, as I already mentioned, there's some issues with it, so I gave them a 3 out of 5. I do like how simple it is, though. The overall score I give for this is an 8 out of 10. This game, it really reminds me of Super Meat Boy for all the right reasons. Needs some fine-tuning to the controls, but this is a really good sandbox for an indie game, and I really hope I see another one of this. You can download the game at the Global Game Jam site, and you can check out more games there. Go ahead and take a look, and if you're interested in the game, see if you can reach out to these people and support them. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.